Hey everyone, thanks for joining me with another episode from European Motors. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I was diving into some European cars, just kind of surfing the web, and just from my knowledge and a little bit of research, I've compiled a list of cars. Now these are European cars, and we're going to take a look at their engines. Specifically, engines that are shared with other cars. Now, the sharing of the paired engines, we're going to look at different pairs here. It could be a European car compared to an American car having the same engine, or it could be two European cars. And I think you will be surprised at some of these, not realizing these are the pretty much same engines put in different cars, and these cars are drastically different pricings. So hopefully you like this and enjoy this. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know down in the comments below. And this by no means are all the cars like this. This is just some to see if you enjoy this. Now there will be three groups of you. There'll be one group of you that would have known all of these cars, really big gearheads like me, who kind of know the numbers of the chassis and the engines and would have known this already. Two, you'll probably know some of them but not all of them, and so you probably be surprised. And then three, you probably have never heard of this ever happening. And whatever group you're in, I'm excited to share this with you because I don't know, this could be a good thing that these cars are sharing the engines, or maybe if you actually bought one of these cars, you might feel a little gypped because you may think, well, I paid this amount of money, but my engine is still in this very, very cheap, inexpensive car. So let's take a look and let you guys see what you think for yourselves. Now we're going to begin with the Audi Volkswagen group. If you didn't know, the Volkswagen group is pretty much an umbrella term for Volkswagen, Porsche, and Audi. You can also stick in there Lamborghini. Yes, Lamborghini is in that same group. And if you know or have heard of the Lamborghini Huracan, which I'm sure you have, then you will know it has its V10 engine. Now, people may think, well, of course this is a Lamborghini engine. Well, of course it is a Lamborghini engine. However, Volkswagen produces it. They place the same engine in their Audi R8 V10. Also, it's in the Plus as well. The Plus is pretty much a Lamborghini Huracan. It sounds the same. Now, if you go to the Huracan, right below some of the engine covers, you will see Audi logos. Why? Because Audi basically makes the parts for these cars, and when you need to see the parts, well, they'll stamp Lamborghini on it. But if they don't need to spend the money to put the Lamborghini sign on a part that's all the way down there that you'll never see, they won't bother to do that. Now, this is the second Lamborghini engine developed by Audi AG when they became the owners of Automobili Lamborghini SPA. Now, this is a 5.2 V10. This engine is codenamed the Gallardo engine because it was used in the Gallardo as well as the Audi S6 and the Audi S8. Very surprising that a detuned version of this engine is used in the Audi R8 V10. However, they use the full potential. Well, I'm sure they can get more horsepower at it, but they use a huge amount of power of this car for the Huracan itself. And of course, the Huracan is a redesigned version of the original Gallardo engine, which of course was made by Audi. So it's just interesting that if you buy any type of Audi V10, you have a Lamborghini engine inside, or if you have a Lamborghini Huracan, you basically have an Audi put together engine. Now, how many of you know this? If you've seen the BMW i8, you've seen it with Tom Cruise, you see it on the street, at least here in Los Angeles, so much. It's a very popular car. It's kind of the pinnacle of BMW right now because what is it doing? It is including the hybrid technology of the electric power plant with the gas engine power plant, molding it together, getting you almost 400 horsepower in this sleek design. However, if you ever think about the engine that is used, it's very gas saving. It is a 3-cylinder engine. What other company makes a 3-cylinder engine? Well, of course, Mini Cooper. Now, if you know, Mini Cooper is a subsidiary of BMW. This engine is called the B38. It's a turbocharged 3-cylinder petrol engine, and it replaced the 4-cylinder BMW N13 engine. Mini One, it is also used in a lot of other BMWs. But to think that you're paying over 100 grand for this car and you have a Mini Cooper engine, I think it's amazing. It doesn't at all hurt the fact that, of course, the i8 is a fantastic car for those who've had it. But thinking that you're driving that car and you do have a Mini Cooper engine in there, I think that's pretty cool. Or, hey, if you have a Mini Cooper and thinking, hey, I am driving what's in the BMW i8. Now we're going to move to the Italian section of the car industry. We're going to move to Maserati. Now, back in 2004, Maserati was not doing well, and they came out with the Maserati Coupe, also known as a Cambio Corsa because it had the paddle shifts. There was a version with manual transmission, however, that wasn't that common to find. Anyway, that engine was the V8 Ferrari engine. Now, which engine was it exactly? It was called the F136 engine. It is, again, a V8 petrol engine, which could put out anywhere between 390 horsepower all the way to almost 600 horsepower, which is funny because most people don't think of Maserati, Ferrari, and Fiat. Yes, Fiat owns Maserati. They also own Ferrari, and so they are responsible for making the engines of a lot of these cars. Now, think about this. There's a lot of versions of the 136 engine. There's a 136R, 136S, 136U, Y, and then there are different ones that are used in the Ferrari engines, 136E, and so forth. So if you look at Maserati, the Maserati Coupe, the Quattroporte, the Gran Turismo, all the way to 2013. This is including the MC Stradale Maserati, all use the F136 engine. Now moving to Ferrari's road cars, the F136E is basically the 430, the Ferrari 430 engine. The F136I is the Ferrari California. So yes, the Ferrari California and the 430 have pretty much the exact same engine. Yes, there are tweakings here and parts are interchanged, but the basic anatomy of the engine is the same. Also, the 458 Italia and the Speciale, yes, that is the 136F engine. Very, very cool to know this, and hopefully it didn't shatter your thoughts of Ferrari. Now, the Range Rover Land Rover Evoque is a car that you see on the road, and it pretty much draws your attention because it's so radical in the sense of it's an SUV, but it has a sleek shape. I wouldn't say it's the most beautiful, but it's definitely an interesting car. Now, in 2017, for some reason, they decided to make a two-door convertible for this vehicle, and there's only one engine option. Now, a lot of car companies let you have different engine options. You pay more, you get a bigger engine, and so forth. However, there's only one option for the convertible Evoque, and that is the Ford EcoBoost engine. Yes, if you right now drive a Ford Focus, a Ford Fusion, a Ford Escape, a Ford C-Max, or a Ford Mondeo, that is the same engine that is in the Range Rover Evoque, which will be a shock to most people. But yes, it is an inline four-cylinder engine, 1.5, and it's just amazing. Now think about it, the standard's a 1.5. They could bore out the engine to 1.6 as well as a 2-liter. I believe the 2-liter is what is in that car. Now that engine again could be grown to a 2-liter twin scroll and so forth. However, it is the same engine, and so when people are out there driving that convertible Evoque, which I don't know how popular it will be, just to think that you're driving a basically Ford Escape or Ford Everest engine, I think that is just ridiculous. Finally, this is my favorite because to me, this was probably one of the most surprising. Yes, the Range Rover Evoque one was pretty shocking, but I think this one is even more. I have to admit, when I saw the Maserati Ghibli first on the road, I was like, this is a gorgeous car, because I owned a Maserati Coupe Cambio Corsa myself, and I absolutely love that car. But I saw the Ghibli, and I thought that was a gorgeous car. However, we know that is placated with maintenance issues, especially engine issues. Now, there's a Ghibli diesel, but I'm going to focus on the V6, the V6 petrol engine. Now, that is turbocharged and directly injected. It's a 3.0 liter engine, and it's the same engine that's fitted into, wait till you hear it, the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Yes, the Jeep Grand Cherokee and the Maserati Ghibli share the same engine. Could you believe this? I mean, the Ghibli new was $80,000, and to know that a car half the price of that shared the same engine is pretty shocking. One of the reasons why people love European cars is, if you go back, the engine quality, the build quality was great. Yes, they would break, of course, but if you really maintain them and you put money into those cars, they would last you a lifetime. I still see 300,000 mile Mercedes SLs 450s. Because why? Because the build quality, they were made to last forever. Now we're seeing cars, Maseratis and Ferraris with engines from other companies. It's just a little shocking. So if you like this video, just let me know down below. What are your thoughts? You think this is a good thing? Because these car companies are saving money by doing this. That's a primary reason. And people are still buying these cars, but is this something that people should know about and freak out about, or just embrace and know that it's the future? We'll see you all next time, and don't forget, drive safe.